The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Oh, baby, what a week it has been. Welcome after a few hours just outside of Backlash on Peacock. And I'm getting too sweeted everywhere. Too sweet. What's welcome to yet another edition of Ramblers Unleashed, episode number 14. Is Dizzy with you alongside my Ramblers here, my fellow Ramblers here. And yes, Courtney, finally we're on the air. We apologize for not being on this afternoon, but we decided to move the show up to about this time. So let me introduce everybody. First and foremost, Max Magus on special assignment. He's trying to keep tabs of the Sandman and his whereabouts. Also, he's studying all of the Joel Gertner one-liners from the ECW review shows. So wherever you are, Max, we wish you a speedy return. Yeah. Next up, the man who needs no introduction, whose vapor trail will leave you both stunned and in awe of the contact high you'll receive just being in his presence, and the man whose catchphrase will always be, if you know it, Baron.
Oh, we're gonna start the show out with $9.99.
Yep. You got to. It's your catchphrase, man. It's your catchphrase.
I don't even know how that caught on. I have no idea.
I don't know. I have no idea, but we got to go with it because that's what it is, man.
It's stuck.
Yeah. The steel trap of pro wrestling knowledge. He is the high one. He is the Baron. Golfers clap. How are you, Baron?
Doing good, man. Enjoying the Saturday. Got to watch some wrestling, get some good grub, and
yeah,
I got my oil change in my car, which was needed. But God, that was so boring.
And I got to do it to mine too.
Yeah. Boring stuff, but stuff you need to do to your vehicles. Absolutely.
It's adult stuff. Even the Baron does adult stuff. I
try not to do adult stuff.
I hear you. It sucks. Finally, the wonderful producer of our show. By the way, thank you, Baron, for being here. We appreciate you. Finally, the wonderful producer of our show, the man, the myth, the absolute legend. For without his expertise and his technical wizardry, the show would fail to exist. And without his misses, so graciously gifting us his free time, we wouldn't be on here to ramble for you. He is the host of Smash This Podcast and Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah. With the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great and the infamous Jebon. Golfers clap. Jebon, how are you, buddy? Happy Saturday.
I'm good, man. I'm stoked. Dude, I'm hearing some
what are you hearing?
I'm hearing us.
You're hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing like an echo.
Really? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be hearing anything.
I don't know why I'm here. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second.
What's up?
I had another tab open. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new high guy, J-Bo.
Have you had an edible today, J-Bo?
No, I've been completely edible free. That's a lie. I had one earlier. But I'm good. I just was scarfing some pizza right before we went live. The pay-per-view was insane. I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, that was an intense visit to France, man. And the fans in France just were top-notch. Absolutely top-notch.
They were breaking sound barriers, for God's sakes. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that because that was huge news on the PLE. But hope you guys enjoyed the Backlash pay-per-view or PLE. I always want to call them pay-per-views because forever they'll be known as pay-per-views to me. So
we're a little old school, we're still, they change up something. You can't say nothing for decades. Well, you're not supposed to call it that. You're supposed to call it this. Now this is something else they're changing. They're bringing back the old school stuff, which is okay. It's like, okay, we can call it wrestling. We can call them fans. By the way, how good is it to hear Michael Cole talk about the fans of the WWE and not the stupid universe?
Yeah.
We landed in the universe. What?
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, there were some mentions of the universe on the pay-per-view. I think Corey Graves talked about it, but it's, if you go year after year after year talking about the WWE universe, it's going to stick. It's going to happen. So it's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice to hear that they are slowly changing their ways of how they do stuff. It is just so nice to be able to hear the term professional wrestling on WWE.
I don't even think it's bad. I mean, yeah, that's great. But like, what is really nice is Michael Cole is now like touching base on like where these guys are from. Like, New Japan. He's bringing up New Japan matches he's had in New Japan. Bullet Club. Like,
Bullet Club.
We're acknowledging these guys existed outside of WWE. So that is pretty huge.
I had a double take because I said, did he just say Bullet Club on the WWE PLE? Wow.
He did.
Wow.
He did.
I love it. And that's the beautiful thing about Triple H is that he is always so open to everything about, backstories about where these guys came from outside of the WWE. And it's just really, really cool, man. I'm digging this. I am digging this part of the WWE, man. I'm digging this new era that we're in. So it's time to get into a little bit of the Backlash PLE. I think we have a special guest wanting to join us, Javon. I'm not too sure. Let's see. Well, of course, he is always late to the party.
Oh, shit.
I found him. He has found a way to enter the dream world, and he is currently giving Vincent Kennedy McMahon nightmares. That's where Sandman went, huh? Whereas on the other hand, I'm in the dreams of all the ladies out there watching the show. That's right. You know where to find me.
So how deep of study did you get into of all the Jill Gertner liners from the ECW review shows, Max?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I was looking over the Joel Gertner quotes, and I found one that I would never repeat, and I decided I am not digging down his list anymore. Because there's one in there where he talks about a teenage girl or multiple teenage girls or something. I'm like, all right, we're going our separate ways. And maybe that was okay back then, but nope, I'm not getting any trouble these days. Leave me alone.
Don't touch it with a 40-foot pole, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
No.
On the subject of the French crowd, apparently they got warned that they were being too loud.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to get into that. That was hilarious. It's just a different, I guess it's just like a different environment there in France. I don't know. I've never been. So we're going to dive into that and everything that happened during Backlash and during SmackDown. Let's go over the card real quick and the results for Backlash. By the way, this will be a spoiler if you have not seen it. If you have not seen it, leave, watch the PLE, and then come back to us because I don't want to spoil anything. That's how good this PLE was. And I even hate to say that, but this will be spoiler alert, just to let you know.
Just to be fair, technically, we already gave a spoiler in the title of this episode.
We kind of did, but you know, yeah, I know. Just trying to be respectful to everybody. of all of the viewers.
Well, if you haven't watched it, go watch it now.
Yes.
And then come back.
And come back and watch the video.
And come back and watch us on a replay.
If you don't watch it for the wrestling, at least watch it to see how on fire that French crowd was. All right.
Oh, God. That French crowd was just magnificent from SmackDown to Backlash. They were just incredible. Incredible. I couldn't either. I mean, it was really awesome to see how, and you know, it's weird because I think, Max, we were in a private chat. I think you were the one that said, I hope they don't come back to the United States.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Between the sheer love and passion you see from the French fans, both Friday night and last night and today, and the disrespect out of the IWC, and come on, the IWC is a U.S. construct. That's not something that other countries are dealing with nearly as prolifically as we are. You know what? The IWC blew it. French got it. They just won. Give it to them. It's the first time in history the French can say, "Hey, we won something."
Yeah, they won. I mean, they won big time. And you know, props to the WWE, man. They brought it. They absolutely brought it. Now I came into Backlash late, about middle of the show, because I was out and about doing other things, but I did get to catch up on it. But it was a really just a top-notch PLE. I knew that you guys were in the private chat talking about it. And I'm like, I can't look. I want to, but I can't look. But you guys were just giving it absolutely rave reviews. And, you know, we need more stuff like this. This is what's going to make the brand a whole lot better. This is what's going to push us out of the PG era and into a brand new era. And I'm here for it. I think we're all here for it. So let's go over the results real quick. Bloodline with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga versus Kevin Owens and Randy Orton rather.
Randy Owens is from Alabama.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
What?
It didn't start. I don't know. I don't know where I got Owens from.
Did you say Randy Owens?
Yes, I said Randy Owens because I was, yeah.
You remember that time on our old podcast when I was like, obviously we had a little too much to drink, and I kept saying John Cena. John Cena.
Cena?
And so, yeah, I don't know where the hell that came from. Remember that, Dizzy?
Yeah, I remember that.
I said it probably like 500 times.
Oh, I've seen her.
John Cena's wiener, yeah.
Have you seen his wiener?
No.
If you haven't seen the trailer for Ricky Stenicki, this is your reminder to go check it out.
Yeah, I need to go watch that. I've actually seen the trailer. I want to see it though. So it was a good match, and it started off as just a regular, pin, 1, 2, 3 pin count or whatever, just a regular match, and then everything just started like going, hey, like the hell and back. It went nuts. People were tossing out security guards and just all sorts of chaos in the ring. And what's his name? The general manager of SmackDown, Aldis. He comes out and he says, "Well, look, it's yeah, I know. It's
not the grocery store.
I know, not the grocery store. Nick Aldis, he comes out and says, "Hey, if you want to do this, if you want to do this, that's fine. We're going to turn it into a street fight." And they did, and man, they brought it. It was so good. And the Bloodline wins because J-Bone, who comes out and saves the Bloodline and gets them the win.
Not Jacob Fatu.
No, but
that's what I said.
He was spotted. He was spotted at the Performance Center, so I think we're going to be seeing him at least sometime in the near future. But who was it?
It was Tama Tonga's brother, Tonga Loa.
Yeah, he comes out
And his partner in what?
His former tag team partner in the Gorillas of Destinies in the Bullet Club. Bullet Club was mentioned a few times during this PLE.
And I love it. I'm here for it. I love that. So your winner for the street fight was the Bloodline. Then we move on to Bayley.
Oh, hang on.
Yes.
We can't continue until this gets discussed. I saw someone on Twitter as I was trying to share the show online with our followers, and someone, I don't remember who, so I can't give credit, but I'll share this nonetheless. It was one of the dead on Twitter, and for those, most of our audience members will know who that is. He's a t-shirt artist. He said, hey, you guys bring back the lowrider bike. For those of you who may know, it was I think it was about 10 years ago. It's hard to believe it was that long ago, but Tonga Loa was part of the WWE, and he was a tag team partner of the only Hunico.
Mm-hmm.
So and they did like a gangster kind of look, Mexican thing, which is funny because he's not Mexican. He's
I know
he's Samoan, but it's like, hey, whatever. It's
that was Vince McMahon.
That's good old Vinny. Hey, at least he wasn't on a lawnmower like the
oh my God.
What's that?
The Mexicals?
The Mexicals, thank you. Yeah, at least they weren't doing that.
God, I forgot about that.
But I love Tonga Loa. And then right after that, he went to TNA. He spent a cup of coffee in TNA. And then Tonga Loa went to New Japan to be with his brother. And they ran roughshod as the Gorillas of Destiny?
Yep.
Gorillas. I think that's what they were. G-O-D. Part of the Bullet Club. Because Tama Tonga is 15 years in the Bullet Club. Talk about an OG. That's as OG as you get, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. Bring back the lowrider bike, would you?
Please.
Yeah, cowards, do it.
And you got to play lowrider when he's rolling out there.
It's funny you mentioned that. There was some point during the pay-per-view or during the PLE where Cole made a comment how there's nobody in the locker room that kind of flipped that switch from just calm to just going off in the ring, quite like whoever he was watching. And I'm sitting there going, that's not true. Festus is still back there. He doesn't want to admit it, but if you go grab the OC and bring him down to the ring, he might perform it for you for once.
Yeah.
Oh man. Get Carl Anderson, get Luke, and get the face paint on.
Signed to WWE? What's going on with them?
Yeah, they used to be.
Feel like I haven't seen them in
with AJ.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while, right? Let's see what
they're not.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen them. I don't know where exactly they are, but I've seen talks about them and their whereabouts, but he kind of, I mean, since he broke away from them, I don't think they're going to involve them into a storyline anytime soon.
Well, they were down in NXT for a little bit. They did a few shows down there, and then they did get drafted to the main roster. I don't remember what show it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. SmackDown.
Was it SmackDown? Yeah.
Okay. This next match was honestly the match of the night number one for me, and that was Bayley, Tiffany, Stratton, and Naomi in a triple threat match to retain or for the WWE Women's Championship, and Bayley defeated Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. So no, Max, it's not Tiffy's time just yet, but I think it will be soon because what I saw in that match, dude, she's good. She's just
she's really, really good.
Freaking talented. And I think we're going to see a really, really good heel run between her and Bayley. I think Naomi needs to step out of the picture and let Tiffany Stratton and Bayley work, because this is going to be a good feud if that happens, man.
It may, they may look at what happened here and they may see the popularity growing by leaps and bounds online, and you may see that sooner rather than later. I thought it was a little like she just got brought up to the main roster. She's been in the industry 2 years. If you go to Chris Van Vliet's page on YouTube, he just did an interview with her, which is actually a very good interview. It's like a half an hour long. You look at her, she's playing this snobby, stuck-up bitch. And I look at her like a cross between Charlotte and Trish Stratus. Mm-hmm. And she's doing it so well. But when you talk to her, when you interview her, she's a little, she portrays her confidence, but she's from the Midwest. She's from Minnesota, a state over from me. So she's got that hardworking, blue collar ethic, from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Trained by Greg Gagne. It's like, holy crap. So,
which is a huge tip of the hat for her,
right.
and I was just impressed. I've been consistently impressed with Tiffany Stratton and how she's holding herself in the WWE, and she's just doing really, really, really well. She's over. The crowd loves her. It's for us, it's Tiffy time, man.
She's pretty humble too.
She is.
Last year around this time, there was some talk of bringing her up, and she said, "Listen, I know you guys think I'm ready, but I think I need more time down here to develop myself before you guys bring me up to Raw or SmackDown." And they allowed her that. They gave her the extra time she asked for.
Yeah, and and that's the cool thing about where we're going with the WWE is that they're listening to the wrestlers. They're listening to, if they're not confident in themselves to be a part of the main roster for SmackDown or for Raw, and they need more time to develop in NXT. That's the beautiful thing about Triple H is he'll say, okay, yeah, sure, stay there. We want you to be comfortable, train in the performance center, whatever you need to do to hone your craft so that you are ready for prime time. More power to you. That's the beautiful thing about Triple H.
Yeah, and I think you got to give props out the Heartbreak Kid over there too, because he's pretty much running the NXT as his thing. I think he's going to build some pretty good solid people.
You still got the regular team that's running the NXT as far as the training part. He's kind of more like the talent
relations.
Talent relations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, is this guy, the crew goes to Shawn Michaels, okay, is this guy making progress,
And Shawn was out there in the ring, when they were doing the draft and they were calling people up from NXT. Shawn was there both nights.
Yeah, he kept walking out and congratulating them and giving them some kind of, because if you notice, he was put his head close to their ear where nobody else could hear. He would sit there and say something to them too.
Yeah.
So, although listen, I'm going to call Tiffy's judgment into question real quick. She is dating somebody that used to be known as Marcel Bartel, which sounds like a mime name. So, how much can you really trust somebody dating someone that sounds like a mime?
No, that's Marcel Marceau, you goofball.
Right. I said it sounded like a mime's name. I know the mime's name was Marcel Marceau. Marcel Bartel sounds like a mime's name.
She's dating Ludwig of the Imperium.
Yes, and what was his name on NXT?
Which is sad.
I have no idea.
It was Marcel Bartel.
Yeah.
No. Was it?
Was it? Really?
Wait,
Was it really?
what? Oh, good for him. Good for him.
This was match of the night number 1 for me. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but Bayley defeated Tiffany and Naomi to retain the WWE Women's Championship.
Yeah, great match, great crowd. I mean, like, when it comes to wrestling, you can have so many great technical wrestling matches, and we love them. Don't get me wrong, but man, when the crowd is there, it just makes it 10 times better in my mind.
Oh yeah. We move on to the next match between Damian Priest and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is kind of interesting, guys. We had some interference with JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Thank you. I was getting there. Give me time. I'm getting old. Just give me time. My brain needs to catch up with my mouth. But Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they came out and they got involved, and that really just pissed off Damian Priest because he's telling these guys, look, I don't need you. What are you doing out here? Why do you have to get involved? I don't need you. And it was the help of JD McDonough who helped Damian Priest retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So honestly, I think we're going to see very, very soon the fall of the Judgment Day. I really think we're going.
It has to happen. Damian Priest has to separate himself because, like, I mean, Jey Uso. I think it was Jey Uso. Is that it? I mean, like, he's pretty much nothing without Rhea Ripley around. I mean, like, we all know Rhea Ripley is obviously like the strong suit in that stable. So he needs to find something to separate himself from that. But I mean, I have to give props up to Jey. I didn't realize how fucking over Jey is, and that crowd. That was probably one of the best entrances I have seen in a long time. Like, that crowd was hyped.
Now, before the match between Damian Priest and Jey Uso, there was a backstage segment between Jey and the Bloodline, who Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga both stared at Jey Uso, but then Paul Heyman stared at Jey and said, just shook his head. He didn't say anything. He just shook his head.
He was just like,
walked away. Just walked away.
I have always said you can tell what's going on in the ring just by looking at Heyman's facial expressions. And the fact of the matter is, when he first walked up to Jey, he had this look on his face that was like, dude, do you see what I'm going through? I need you to help me. And then all of a sudden, there's Solo and Tama pushing up behind him, so he shook his head and got out of the way. This guy, he's not feeling very wise right now because no one's listening to him.
Even on the way to the ring. Even on the way to the ring, he was looking really, really worried, Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about Paul Heyman is that he can create so much suspense, so many questions for any faction that he is. Yeah, absolutely, Keith. It was a big cry for help. And that's the beautiful thing about Paul Heyman is that he can create those emotions just by looking at somebody. He doesn't have to say anything, but just look at somebody to tell the story.
And I mean, we have to talk about the fact that he admitted on SmackDown last night that he hasn't talked to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania.
Right, because he got the phone slapped out of his hand by Solo Sikoa, and it was damaged because Solo stepped on it. So he may have not got a new phone to get a hold of Roman. So it's a really good story. I'm loving this story between the Bloodline and what's going on. It's because right now it's the Bloodline versus Paul Heyman at this point in time. I love what they're doing with the Bloodline and everything that's happening. Yeah, absolutely,
it's amazing. But can we talk about are we a month into Cody's reign and we're already getting "We Want Roman" chant? Even in the US, I hear him. Which, man, when he comes back with what's going on with the Bloodline, it's going to be some top tier shit.
You know, and you know, it's what's up, Terrence? You know, it's really funny that we're hearing these we want Roman chants, because remember back when he separated from the Shield and he was a face and he really wasn't over. He was consistently getting booed and nobody wanted him to be out there. Nobody liked him. Nobody cared about him and his character. And the way that he's brought everybody together to make himself over with the crowd, it's just been beautiful. And then, you know, the desperate turn of being a heel that he needed to be, because he was the John Cena of that time. When John Cena never turned heel, Roman Reigns finally figured out, or somebody in the creative finally figured out that, you know what, he's not over. We need to start listening to the fans. Let's turn him heel, because I guarantee you that's going to create so much heat that he needs to get over. Look at what it did for Dominic Mysterio. You know, look what it did for him. When he was with Rey Mysterio, his dad, he couldn't get over until he turned heel. It's just something that happens. You know, you have to figure out what kind of character you can be to get over.
Yeah, but part of Dom's heat comes from piped in booze, you know, and them turning his microphone down. That way they can make sure the crowd drowns him out. Yeah, the crowd hates him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away from that. But, you know, they're turning his mic down. You can tell. There's a microphone volume difference between when he tries to speak and when somebody else does. You can tell that part of those boos are coming in through the speakers. So even though he's hated and he is getting the boos that he is, WWE is helping to generate some of that.
I don't believe that. I know a lot of people have said that. Triple H in the interviews has come right out and said, no, there's no piped in stuff. So I mean, yeah, maybe he is, you know, just Josh with the crowd, but
yeah, but I mean, Trips is going to say that to save face. I mean, he's not going to say,
but there's videos Dom and, like, you know, not like Raw or SmackDown and like just regular
live events,
and they're booing the fuck out of him.
Yeah, so
it's like a go away heat kind of thing, I think, but it's good nonetheless.
Come on, guys, they're not the Leon crowd, okay? These other crowds that are booing him that loud, they're not the Leon crowd. There's no way they're booing him that loud without help.
Well,
yeah, that France crowd, my gosh.
Yeah, the France crowd was insane. But either way, you know, Damian is doing a good job. He is so over. He doesn't need the Judgment Day anymore. And the Judgment Day helped Damian Priest to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Then we move on to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which I really, honestly, I just didn't pay any attention to it, because it not boring, but I don't have the connection with it. Yeah, Jade Cargill is good. I don't want her to be teamed up with Bianca Belair.
I agree. I think it's like cheesy in a way. I mean, like, we all know what's about to happen. These two are they're going to face off. That's the ultimate goal. You know, there's going to be some rift between the tag team. And I'm not sold on Jade.
But I got something for you. Look at
that. And that's good. You know, I'm glad that Jade came from AEW back to to the WWE, and she's doing good things, man. She's doing really good things. And I'm just not sold on her being teamed up with Bianca Belair, because I'm not over her. I don't pop for Bianca Belair. I think she's annoying, just like I think Naomi's annoying. But as you saw in the photo, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, your new women's WWE Tag Team Champion. And then we move on to match. Yes, sir.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I used to be the same way when it comes to Bianca Belair. I didn't get it, and it took me watching like several of her matches to see the hard work, to see like how the crowd was responding, excuse me. Because like when I first saw her in NXT, and the first thing I saw was her like whipping people with her hair, and I was like, dude, that's garbage. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. And I'm not saying you don't get it, but I'm just saying give it time. She may change your mind, because I was the same way. I was like, what is this?
And that's the thing, Jason, J-Bone. I've given them time. I've given her time, and I just don't know. I just don't know if I can even. I don't know. I'm just not sold. I've never been sold on Bianca Belair, and I was the same with Naomi and the other girl who was with what's his name, the dinosaur dude. God, Cameron. I can't think of his name. Who?
Cameron was the girl's name, and you're thinking of Funkasaurus.
Yes, Funkasaurus. My God, I hated. Can I just tell everybody my definition for Funkasaurus?
Tyrus.
Oh God, yes. I like Tyrus now, but it took a long time for me to get over with Tyrus for the whole motherfucking Funkasaurus bullshit. Take your disc. You are not the disc. Look, man. Look, you are not the Disco Inferno. Okay, this is not WCW. Oh my God, I hated it every time they came out. I cringed. Oh, and every time, like, if he ever got beat down, dude, I was so pumped. I'm like, yes, kick his ass, please.
Listen, you and I clearly have two different levels of opinion when it comes to Disco Inferno, because I think it's a good thing that he's not the Disco Inferno, and you're making it sound like it's a bad thing that he's not the Disco Inferno.
No, I'm saying the gimmick is similar to Disco Inferno.
I thought it was a terrible gimmick.
That's what I mean. I thought it was a terrible gimmick too. No, but it's better than Funkasaurus. Disco Inferno was so much better than Funkasaurus.
Well, I think they're equally really, really bad. I think they're both bad. Yeah,
they're both bad. But if we're gonna put one over another, I'm gonna go with Disco Inferno as the best out of Funkasaurus. But anyway, let's move on to match of the night number 2, and that would be Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. My God, what a match! And they were the crowd was just eating it up, man. This franchise,
the camera was literally shaking when they were introducing AJ Styles. Like,
yeah,
it was insane.
Everybody, I think the crowd was jumping up and down or something like that, and it was just shaking the entire arena. And
they were still yeeting.
yeah, they were still yeeting. But man, this was just so good. I absolutely loved this match between Cody and AJ. I hate the fact, and we mentioned this, we talked about this in the private chat, but I think it needs to be said here. I hate the fact that AJ Styles is just a jobber, and he's one of the best. If we're going to define him as a jobber, he is one of the best damn jobbers in this industry.
I don't think anybody calling him a jobber.
No,
that's a terrible word for that, because
if you're just a jobber, you're not going to win your way into the main event for the title shot.
But what I'm saying, if we're going to compare, if people out there call him a jobber, he is the best damn person to put somebody over in this industry, hands down. He is just so phenomenal, and he lives up to his name, and that's what I mean. Because I've been a big fan of AJ for a long time. When he was in TNA, I loved him. When he came over to the WWE, I loved him. And it's just so refreshing every time I see him. He plays a good face, but my God, he is such a killer heel. I love him as a heel because I feel like that's him. You know, even if you get him as a face, that's him. But as a heel, that's him. Like, that's AJ, you know, and I love AJ. I've been a big fan of AJ.
Technically, he'd be a chaser. And what that means, he will win his matches right up to the championship match, and he'll make that match look amazing even while he's losing it.
See, I've never heard that term. Is that a wrestling term? A chaser?
I wouldn't call it an official wrestling term, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one that's not heard. You hear the other stuff like jobber a lot more because people say, "Oh, he's lost. He's a jobber." No, that's not what jobber means.
Brawler was a jobber.
Okay.
Right. That's a better example. Yeah, I mean, if AJ Styles lost every match from here till the end of 2024, okay, then you can call him a jobber. Then something's wrong there, you know.
Yeah. But you know, if you're using that terminology and calling AJ a jobber, then I'm going on record and say he is one of the best damn people to put over somebody in this industry. He is by far one of the best athletes I think the WWE has. And I'm going on record saying that. Like I said, I've been a big fan of AJ, and I want him to go. I want him to win a title. I really am just pulling for AJ to win a title. But Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles to retain the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. This whole pay-per-view, again, PLE, was just so good. Was just so good. Do we want to give it a quick rating before we move on to other news? J-Bone, from 1 to 10, what would you rate this PLE?
Oh, I'd straight up give it a 10. I mean, it was they didn't overdo it with 13 matches. There was 5 matches in this whole pay-per-view.
5 matches, yeah.
5 whole friggin' I looked at this. I looked at the preview late last night, early this morning, as I'm preparing to create a show, do a cover, just making sure I understand what's going on with the show, who's going to be on there. And I'm like, God, it's so refreshing. You got 3 hours, because Trips doesn't like doing 6-hour pay-per-views. He likes, WrestleMania is a little longer, but that's understandable. That's also why they made it 2 nights, so it's not a 12-hour pay-per-view. And it's you got a handful of matches. You can let them breathe. The performers, the wrestlers are not rushed.
Yeah,
they take their time getting down the ring. Right. Yeah, they have time to tell a story. You're not going to get a 2-minute women's match. No, man. The matches all tonight felt organic. They felt complete. Whether you liked it or not, who was out there, who was winning, who was losing, they all told a different story. They all worked really well together. So and the crowd helps, man. The crowd is like the 5th member of the Beatles. It's like,
100%.
Yeah. I totally agree. Baron, from 1 to 10, real quick, what would you give it, man?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what J-Bone said, word for word. I mean, 10 out of 10, easily. The crowd always elevates the show, no matter how good the wrestling you think is or bad. And it's first pay-per-view after Mania, and Trips is killing it, man. Keep it up.
They're trying to set a standard, and man, they're doing it, man.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, they're absolutely killing it. Quick Max, 1 to 10, what would you give this pay-per-view? This PLE? God dang it.
I'm giving the card an 8.75. This used to be part of the WrestleMania Revenge Tour, which means that you should see some rematches from WrestleMania. For example, Io Sky has a rematch clause for the title. She didn't get that rematch. But I'm going to give the crowd an 11.25. When you combine the two, that means that this PLE gets a 10.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 10.
I'm so sick. I'm glad you brought up the rematch thing that we typically get. Dude, it was so refreshing not to get that. Every single year. It's really?
I'm not saying everybody should have gotten a rematch, but we built this story with Io and Bayley, and we got the one match, and that was it. I was looking forward to a rematch out of them. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's more to it. That's why they didn't do it. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but yeah.
And speaking of Backlash, let's move on to some news. As they announced during the PLE, that was the largest gate of any arena show in WWE history in France. That's magnificent, and they're doing just really, really trailblazing things. And they are the people who know how to do trailblazing stuff. Something else that I found kind of interesting too is that Triple H tweeted out, quote, the WWE universe in France literally received a warning about the noise level at SmackDown. It's absolutely insane. And I didn't know that was even a thing. Like, I didn't know it was so. What is that? I have never heard of anybody receiving.
Yeah, I seen the picture. It looks like it came through their phone. So it's like, is it a governmental thing or what that is? But that's pretty badass.
I think it's something. I think they were saying it was from their they got smartwatches.
Yeah, they got smartwatches.
So that's got to be something with the Apple or whatever kind of smartwatch they had. I don't do the smartwatches. I'm blind as it is, so I'm like.
So sound level.
It's Tiffany time. Oh, really? I can't tell.
the sound level, according to what I just saw on this article, I won't name the source, but the sound level reached 100 decibels inside of that arena, and the exposure of just a few minutes at that level can cause temporary hearing loss.
Wow.
And so that is, but you have to think about it. They're used to soccer games, and most of their soccer games are outside where they can be a little bit noisier, and they're not used to that type of show. So should they have had it, I don't know, maybe outside, possibly to not get a noise level thing, but that right there, again, WWE setting a mark to be a trailblazer, and breaking records, man, shattering records, and that's just impressive.
Trips loved it. He thought, he was kind of it's something that might hurt you, but it's he's like, oh, wow, we never got anything like.
I think that's exactly what the wrestlers want. I think they want the crowd to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You want anyone like that at a wrestling show, because my God, that was hyping the wrestlers up. Like, everybody who came out to the ring to do a match, they were just hyped. You could just tell, We also got a QR code, another QR code during Backlash, and this one has been decoded thanks to our friends over at ringsidenews.com. They said they quoted it, and they typed it out, and because if you listen to it, it's really hard to understand. You don't I listened to the audio of it, because this one is just audio, it's not video. But the audio says, do you know the story of the shepherd and the lost sheep? The shepherd left 99 others to search for the one that had gone missing. He rejoiced when he found it. None of you cared. Their families didn't care. Their friends didn't care. You let the darkness take them, left them all alone, but I set them free. They are my family now, and we will do anything to protect our family. I can't wait for you to see what we've become. It's beautiful.
There was also a phone number there in the background.
A phone number?
Yeah, when you scan the QR code, it popped up with, hang on. I have it here. I loaded it up earlier.
Yeah.
The phone number that comes up is 888-280-3999.
Oh, is that the audio you got when you dialed it?
No. So if you look up here at the top, there's this play button, and I can play the audio about the lost sheep and how nobody cared. Then I call this number, and there's a creepier voice telling me a creepier story.
Oh. So that's even different. Okay.
That's badass.
There was one from this past week that came up with "They Were Broken." So all the guesses as to what those letters meant and the names that go with them, like Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Alexa Bliss, all that. I'm trying to figure out where we're fitting the Hardys in there, because who is the most famous broken wrestlers right now? I mean, in the modern era, the Hardys have made a name off of being broken.
Yep, and currently with TNA, that would be Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
So, which I didn't know anything about the number. I thought you were going to be a smart ass and say, well, it was the hotline. It was the WWF hotline where you call in and get tips.
Oh, no. But for you, if I was going to play a joke on you, Dizzy, I would have just given you the rejection hotline.
Well, WWE finally confirmed their new location for WrestleMania 41. The anticipation for the event is already building, and they will have it in Las Vegas April 19th and April 20th, 2025 at the Allegiant Stadium, which is really, really going to be cool to see it in Vegas. Let's see. Now, we need to bring this up because over the week, we've had a lot of NXT cuts. A lot of people have been cut, including is her name pronounced Zion Quinn or Jean Quinn? I'm not too sure. Zaya Lee, Jinder Mahal, Von Wagner, and Cameron Grimes were one of the originals that were released that we already knew about, but here's some more names, including Ezekiel Balogun, Julian Baldy, Trey Bearhill, Ems Diaz, known as the WWE Roku channel series WWE Next Gen, Valentina Feroz, Drew Gulak, Keyshawn LaFleur, Daryl Mason, Vlad Pavlenko, and Kaya Saint. And even Boa was one of those who was released.
Now, I didn't see the Drew Gulak. Well, I didn't see the Drew cut, but I am a little confused because you just asked us how Zion Quinn's name is pronounced, and you're like, does she pronounce it?
Zion Quinn.
And I'm going to drop something in the chat for you real quick. In our private chat, that's Zion Quinn right there.
Zion Quinn. Okay.
Oh, that's
not seeing it.
That's the Chinese girl, right?
No, Zia Lee was the cut. That's the Chinese girl. But he said, how does Zion Quinn, how does she pronounce her name? I'm like, Zion Quinn's not a her. Here's a picture of Zion Quinn.
Oh.
Okay. You could have just said that Zion is a guy, not a girl. I apologize for that.
No, I was just.
I apologize for that. Like, but we move on. God damn, we move on to Gable Stevenson. He was another one that was cut. So we have a lot of people who have been cut, and I think it's only going to get worse. Cuts now. Yeah. Now, let's talk Drew Gulak for a minute. His departure from WWE amid allegations made by Ronda Rousey has cast a shadow over the wrestling world. Now, Rousey's claims that Gulak behaved inappropriately towards her, allegedly by grabbing the string of her sweatpants without consent, and it sparked serious discussions about workplace conduct within the company. And I don't even know why that would surprise anybody with what we're talking about with Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant. I don't know why that's surprising anybody, but J-Bone, you were listening to the press conference after Backlash and asked about Drew Gulak's. Somebody asked about Drew Gulak and his departure, his status. So what did Triple H say?
So this was okay. First of all, it was like I thought it was like the dumbest thing to bring up at such a successful PLE. He's talking numbers. He's talking about how proud he is of everyone's performance. He's talking about the future of PLEs possibly in that country to come back because the fans really brought it. He's just talking about all these things. And the last person says, yeah, could you please give us the status of Drew Gulak amid the accusations of sexual, and then Trips cut him off there. Oh, because this guy, whoever he was, said he said per
Fightful, right?
He said per confirmation from Fightful, and I think he said PW Insider. It maybe, but the first one was Fightful. Trips cut him off. And the first thing he says, he's like, first of all, if you're going to, talk about sources, please use reputable ones. And it was like, oh, got him.
Yeah.
So right there, it's like, yeah, just thank you, Trips. It's like, these guys get all these stories. They get all this credit. Oh, they're so reputable. They get look, they got the story first. It might be right? They must be right. Wrong, bitch. Wrong. You don't always get it right just because you're first and you make stuff up. No, they freaking, and Tripp said, he's like, first of all, get reputable sources. He said, second of all, regarding his contract, he said first of all, he says straight up, he's like, he was not fired. His contract expired and we did not renew it. So right there was like, and then he didn't even talk about the allegations. This was like, good for him. And people are going to say, oh, he avoided the accusations. But okay, you want the accusations? Go call up Ronda Rousey. She's got a book on it, apparently. Trips is like trying to talk about a show here, and you're going to bring up that shit? Really?
Well, I mean, it's just like when we were done with WrestleMania and somebody brought up Vince McMahon, So it's always going to happen. You're always going to get those people who are going to ask about certain shit going on. Yeah, certain shit going on inside or backstage of the WWE when it really doesn't even concern why we're at the press conference. If you want a press conference, I mean, this isn't the press conference to say, hey, let's talk about all the concerns in WWE. This is the press conference about Backlash. This is the press conference about WrestleMania, what we just saw in the freaking ring. Don't ask me about shit that's going on that has nothing to do with nothing. Can
we talk about Johnny Laryngitis? No. Off.
No. Why would you even bring him up on TV anymore? Like, stop bringing him up on TV. And right. Good on Triple H just stopping. Just like, hey, look. That's good on him. Some other news that has been going around that CEO Nick Khan had been selling his TKO group holdings, and that we talked about it. We said, oh, is he done with WWE? There's been a lot of confusion around it, and apparently Nick Khan was just putting up their remaining TKO shares for sale. However, Nick Khan is still employed by WWE. He's not going anywhere. And I think it's good. I think it's a good move that Nick Khan doesn't go anywhere. I think it's a good move that Triple H doesn't go anywhere, honestly. So I'm really happy that Nick Khan's not going anywhere. Now, a person who is going somewhere is the COO, Brad Blum. He resigned to miss the involvement in Vince McMahon's trafficking lawsuit, which, again, we're going to see. We talked about this. We did it with Nick Khan. We did it with Triple H. We did it with everybody. Are we going to see more and more people resign from the WWE because of this whole allegation with Vince McMahon? Yeah, we are. Are we going to see big names? I don't think so, but I don't know. I have no idea. But it's just really going to be interesting from here on out what we see and what's going to happen and going forward as we, get deeper and deeper and deeper into this. So something could happen. I don't know what. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know, but that's what it is. So that is all that I have as far as news goes. It was, it was a remarkable pay-per-view, really just a remarkable pay-per-view that we had, or PLE or whatever. And, we're coming off of TNA too. TNA Under Siege was a fantastic show, so we've had a lot of good, really good pro wrestling to watch over the past, couple days. And it's going to be, say what, Max?
Joe Hendry.
Yes. Oh my God. Joe Hendry on TNA Impact. That was magnificent. Doing the apology song,
Can we fire you
yet? And it's, that guy is so damn creative. He is just so creative. I'm really digging Joe Hendry. I really am. But I'm digging TNA. It's really cool what they're doing too. So, and I don't know if anybody can hear this, but my God, it sounds like there is a tornado outside my window right now. I'm hearing like major wind.
It just got quiet on my end, but I don't know if you noticed, I flipped around and tried to look through the curtains a minute ago, because all of a sudden it sounded like there was people arguing on my back porch.
Were there people arguing on your back porch?
No, it turns out my back porch is empty. I'm guessing they were walking or driving by in the parking lot.
Oh, well, thank God. Thank God there's nobody arguing on your back porch.
Well, if there had been, I probably would have opened the curtain, turned the camera. It would have been a free PLE for everybody in our watching our show.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah. All right, that is all I've got. I think that's going to wrap it up for the show. So, again, make sure that you subscribe. If you dig the content that we've got here, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon, and tell your friends about us. And in the meantime, while you're surfing around on social media, you can follow these guys. Baron, how can they follow you, sir?
Find me on the Twit or the X, whichever one you want to call it, at Scumbag Jordan. 3 N's. I repeat, 3 of them.
3 N's. Three.
Which I'm not on there very often.
And how much is
that?
Are you gonna get rid of 3 N's? Yeah, how much is subscription to your OnlyFans?
I think the time I tried to just be Scumbag Jordan was just 1 N, and then they maybe changed it or something happened. I don't remember. There was some fishy story going on with that.
Yeah, it didn't go well when he tried to change it. I don't remember what happened, but we had we spent like 5 minutes talking about it on the show one day after he had tried to change it.
Yeah, there was some shit going on with the Twitter. I'm on there. You can find me at Scumbag Jordan, 3 N's. Triple A.
With 3 N's. 3 N's. And that subscription is how much, sir?
$9.99.
There you go. There you go. Max Mages, how can they follow you, sir?
If you're looking for wrestling stuff, look for @MaxMages. If you're looking for the nerdy stuff, follow my other podcast @OurShots Podcast. And as always, tune in here every week so you can hear me make fun of Dizzy.
That is a sight to behold. J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
You have to unmute first.
Yes, you do have to unmute.
Sorry. That Eddie, baby.
I'm sorry.
Now we can hear you.
Now?
Hear me now?
Am I loud and clear?
Can you hear me now?
All right. You can. You can follow me on the old Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can also follow me over on that little old podcast called Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to catch all of mine and who else was on there? Front Row Bill and Alicia is also. That's our knockout. If you want to see our opinions on everything TNA every Thursday, go check us out over there. The channel's really growing, and I'm very proud of it. Been there for 5 years, and now we're back doing this, and I'm insanely proud of what we're doing. It's all gravy, baby.
Absolutely. We're proud of you too, buddy. And you can follow the show at Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. Just search that. Give us a like. And on X, you can follow us at The Ramblers Pod. And make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube and click the bell icon so when we go live, you know about it. And in the meantime, please enjoy professional wrestling. Enjoy Raw on Monday, and if any more news comes about that is breaking, we will bring it to you on Saturday, regular time. And that is it. Well, maybe we'll have to talk about it because I might have
you should enjoy Raw on Monday. I want to say one thing about that real quick. Listen, he's not telling you sit down, watch Raw, enjoy it. If you're not a fan of WWE, fine, sit down and watch AEW. If you're not a fan of AEW, sit down and watch TNA, but enjoy some wrestling. Find a show you like and enjoy it. That's what this business is about. We want you to be entertained. And if it doesn't entertain you to watch Raw, find another product. There's lots of them out there.
Yeah, if you don't like anything that you see on TV, go to an indie show. Enjoy an indie show. If you don't like anything that you see in the indies, enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. I don't care what it is, as long as you're watching professional wrestling and you're loving it. Do whatever makes you happy. And
just don't watch Naked and Afraid. That's garbage.
Yeah.
So I saw the commercial over here with TV off to the side here. I was like, ew.
Yeah. Right. I've never been in that show. All right, ladies and gents, we will talk to you next weekend, and take care again. Enjoy professional wrestling, and we shall see ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.